Hello, this is Pixel Freak, and today we are finishing off Samurais vs. Zombies. So I got enough requests to go back and finish, 51 through 70. Lots of waves to go through. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm not going to go through the different zombie mode, but I will finish the game here, and I do finish the game. I'm actually recording these comments after I've beat the game. So I'm already done. I've already done this. I'm just going to comment on my way through this. So you can rewind the video if you'd like to go see what levels all of my guys are, but most importantly, if you noticed, when it got to the soldiers, you'll notice that farmers and rangers, or the arrow guys, they didn't show up. The reason they didn't show up is because they're both maxed out. So that's a key part of this strategy, is that both your rangers, or your archers, and your farmers should be maxed out. This is also kind of a take on the farmer Zerg strategy where I spam farmers, but I mix it up a little bit by using rangers in there as well. So the key part of the strategy here is that you need to run up and kind of slow the bad guys down as much as you can, because you need to build up that leadership. And if you haven't watched the walkthroughs that I had before this one, where I did 1 through 50, I also bought my first 2 leadership levels, and those are pretty much a requirement as well. You're going to actually have to spend gold coins in order to beat the game, at least by this strategy. I'm sure there's going to be somebody putting in the comments, hey, I beat it and I never actually used any gold coins. Well, good for you. I didn't. I used coins. In fact, I used probably about $7 worth of coins. You can do different things to get gold coins yourself. You can do the Tapjoy offers, or it's a service like Tapjoy, or you can do the date trick, which was a video for the date trick. I wouldn't recommend doing that for very long. That's going to take you forever and a day to do that. Or you can just buy some on your own. You're going to need about 120 coins or so. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. I think all I maxed out was I put some gold coins into archers. The farmers, you can upgrade all the way for just silver coins. I end up upgrading troop once. I do 2 levels of leadership. That's like 80. I think the archers, were something like 30 or 40. The troop level was 40. So we're looking at about 160. Probably like 160 gold coins. So the idea here, and I'll talk about the strategy, is you just swarm in with rangers, but then as you have some of the rangers, you swarm in with the farmers, and then as you have some of the farmers in there, you bring your archers up right behind. And the idea is you got to keep those farmers coming, because if you ever gap your farmers at all, the enemies will come up and they'll kill your rangers. Well, if you kill rangers, archers, whatever. If you let your archers build up and you can keep them protected with farmers, most of the damage actually ends up coming from your archers. The farmers will do some, but the farmers are really just fodder. They're getting killed out in the front line. The archers are doing a buttload of damage. I've also upgraded my bow a couple different levels with gold coins. I think I only spent a total of 10 or 15 gold coins. Obviously, I had a few gold coins to spare. This strategy would work without your bow having been upgraded, but I just have it anyways. It's not necessary. I've also spent gold coins to get the double silver coins for life upgrade. Would not recommend that. You can go back and play old levels if you'd like to. Just grind up your silver coins for what you need. You won't need that many. By the end of the game, I think I upgrade everything I can with silver coins, but it's not really helpful. You'll get your units to the point where they need gold coin stuff. So here you can see my farmers are kind of getting weak out in front, and it looks like my archers are going to get killed. I'm not sure if they do or not. I don't remember. It's not looking good for me. Oh, he killed him. See, so that is exactly what you don't want to happen. You want to keep that gap strong, and what ended up happening was that I stopped summoning, just briefly, my farmers. Just enough of a gap appeared so that they killed my archers. That's going to be a recurring theme, too, as we go through this. Really, the strategy is just keep that stream of farmers coming and try to keep those archers going as well. You'll also notice something that I use quite often through most of these rounds is wealth charms. And I'm using them just because I have them. If you have them, I'd also recommend you use them. And the reason is not for the silver coins they're going to drag towards you, it's the leadership coins. If you sit kind of right in bow range, right, and kill enemies, the leadership coins will drop, and if you have a wealth charm on, the leadership coins will immediately float to you. So you can just sit there and spam the farmers, and then when a few enemies go down, a handful of leadership coins will hit you, just enough for you to spawn a new archer. You get one of those, and then you can continue summoning your farmers like nothing ever changed. So it allows you to get more and more archers, and then you're basically building up your offense by getting more and more of those archers behind you while your farmers are still coming in that steady stream. And again, the steady stream of farmers is what's really important to hold the enemies back. So you can see, use a wealth charm there. Here we go, 52. And most of these waves are very similar. I did have a couple stumbling places. This wave actually was the first time you see these little demonic farmers. When you see them run at you, really it's just best to run back to the gate and spawn a few farmers. Now I kind of like to build up that level of leadership, that last one that you can't actually buy it, the one that's locked in gray right now. So what I'll do when I get those fast enemies, a lot of the times it's bombs, sometimes it's those quick farmers, I'll summon a handful of my own farmers, maybe less than 10. And then I'll just kind of let them go out and attack, and hopefully they'll kill a few enemies. But you can see right now I'm building my leadership up again. I've reverted back to my initial strategy where I just let my leadership build up to 75, and then I hit it. And now I'm back on my old strategy. I'm going to let these farmers die just because there's no sense in saving them anyways. And then I'll let the enemies kind of follow me backwards, and I'll start summoning my little crew. It also helps to have your samurai decked out as best he can, and your archers for your town as well, your gate archers. So what I tend to do in the very beginning is, if you have the rifleman or the blacksmith guy, I always use them as well. In this particular run through the game, all I had was the blacksmith at this point. I do get the rifleman later. If you don't have either, that's okay. If you have them though, it's a big help. But the general rule of thumb when I'm spawning these guys is I'll start by spawning about 3 farmers just to get kind of a buffer in there. And then I'll summon in my special guys, be it the blacksmith or the rifleman, and I'll summon my first archer at that point. And then I'll just keep going with my farmers as fast as I can, and in between farmers, like every 2 or 3 farmers, I'll summon an archer. And I'll do that until my leadership is empty, or at least under 10. And then I'll just do just farmers for a while. Once in a while, I'll sneak in another archer. But it's most important that your farmers are going in a steady stream, because they need to hold the enemies back while your archers are doing the bulk of the damage. So I'm not sure exactly why here I haven't summoned a blacksmith yet, but for some reason I didn't. I should have. Also, another interesting piece of advice: if you can get your hands on the version 1 of this game, I'd recommend you go through and do your 1 through 50 if you haven't already done it, but you're probably already done with 1 through 50 if you're listening to this. But I noticed that the gold boxes have a much higher frequency of having one of the special allies, your riflemen and your blacksmith guys, on version 1 of the game. Once they upgraded to, I think it was like version 2, they become much more rare, like exceedingly rare. I think going 1 through 50 this playthrough, because I ended up doing, I had lost my save file. I went through 1 through 50 first, and then now I'm doing the walkthrough of 51 through 70. Anyways, going through that, I only got 1 special character, whereas my first time through the game, I think I got all of them. So either I was just really unlucky or they gimped the spawn. And I think it's that they gimped the spawns out of the gold boxes because A, they started getting more gold boxes, but B, they started selling those booster packs, and they wanted you to spend a bunch of gold coins in the booster packs in order to get your special NPCs there. Lame. I think it's really lame. I think that you should try to get a hold of version 1. I don't know where you would do that. It's out there somewhere. It's got to be. Install that version, and you'll, in 1 through 50, you'll probably pick up the majority of those special NPCs. And the ones you don't get, just play some of the older levels over and over again until you do get them. I'm not positive that'll work. Maybe there's a check in the game that'll automatically make you update. I don't think that that's true, but it seems like a good plan to me. Once I was playing the game and I realized that the spawns of those gold boxes were a lot lower, I wished I had went to find version 1 of the game just to play it over again. So again here, reiterating the same old plan, I just buff up my leadership to max and slow the enemies down, and there you go. You can see 3 farmers in the front, and then I get my blacksmith coming in along with some archers. And then it's just farmer after farmer. On these flying enemies, it really sucks too, because your farmers just do nothing. They just go up there and get hit in the face. But between you and your archers, you should be able to take out any flying enemies. It also gets to a point where you do this zerging so much, because you're basically zerging archers and you're zerging farmers at the same time. You zerg enough and you'll actually cripple the device. You'll slow down your device. And you'll see that, I think, on Wave 70 when I'm fighting the boss, I get so many of my allies in there at the same time that it just comes to a crawl. And I don't think it's avoidable. I think just about any device that you're playing on, albeit if it was, say, like a MacBook or maybe even a PC. I'm not sure if this is actually on Windows 8 or not. I know it's out on, I've heard some people playing it on MacBooks, on Mac devices. So I'm not sure how an iPad will hold up, but I know I have a high-end Android device, and it shouldn't get crippled, but it does. And so I'm assuming that most devices will get crippled, aside from full PCs. So here we are, back in the store. And you're going to see I upgrade a few things just kind of randomly, just because I can. Lethargy. I think that's the end of me upgrading Lethargy. I don't put any gold coins into it. It's really not worth it. I don't imagine that it would work that much better, that it would warrant the gold coins. Troop is a different story. Troop actually works substantially better with the gold coins, and so having at least that first gold coin purchase on Troop is nice. You'll probably need it by about Wave 60. At least that's when I bought it. Wave 60 was a pain for me. It took me about 3 or 4 tries before I actually made it through the wave. So here we go. Once you see the farmers, just go ahead and just run back and summon some of your own farmers to battle them. Easy enough. So this one takes a few more farmers than the last one. That one's probably more like 15 farmers before you're able to stop. And I'm running forward here because I want to let my leadership build up, but I need to make sure that I'm actually going to be able to do that. My farmers will kill those guys really easy. So it looks like there's no more enemies. It's just those couple riders and then all those farmers. Easy enough. So should be easy enough now to let my leadership build up. Ooh, the named horse guy. Nonetheless, those farmers will kill him. Easy. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those frosty bowmen guys. A lot of times when you approach them and they start to draw, you can run out of their range really fast. So you can still take, you know, little pot shots at them like I'm doing right now. Do a little bit of damage. Everything helps. You can see my arrows too, they've been upgraded to the point now where they kind of do this splash damage as well. They hit one guy, but then they kind of hit everybody. There is, going through these 20 waves, there's 2 different places where I use the revive. One of them I'll explain when it happens, and the other one is I end up dying. I'm not sure on what wave, and it was a stupid death, but I ended up getting a named out of a golden box when I died. So I was kind of forced to finish the level anyways. I would have gone through and just reset it and do it without dying. But I figured I wanted that extra NPC that I think it was the named guy on the horse. And I never even use him, I just wanted to collect him. So I do use a couple revives. And you do need a revive. There's one of them is a strategic use. And I will get to that later. But you'll need a revive in order to complete the game, at least by my strategy. I should keep reiterating that, because there's a million and one ways to beat this game. This just happened to be the way that I took. And another round 1. Easy enough. So a few upgrades here. And back to wave 55. So after wave 55, there's actually a bonus round as well. And I've never lost any of the bonus rounds, but based on the way that I've done my strategy, it came close on a few of them, because the bonus waves do get progressively harder, and I really just focused, at least in the beginning, on nothing but farmers and archers. So with just having that, if you run into a bonus wave where you don't have farmers or archers, you're kind of effed. So there we go, easy enough round to hold the guys back a little bit, let your leadership build up. And I guess, it would be possible, at least in these first few waves, to beat them without the second leadership upgrade. I'd have to imagine the first leadership upgrade is just completely necessary, so that you're starting out at least at level 2, or however you want to slice it. But to me it seems like it would just make it infinitely more difficult to not have your leadership up. That was part of my strategy of beating 1 through 50, so if you don't have that already, I'd have to say I'm a little bit surprised. A little bit surprised. So here, I went a little bit more farmer heavy in the beginning rather than summoning archers right away. At least in this wave. Here, so this is a really good example of why I do things the way that I do. These wheels right here will chew up farmers, even multiple farmers, all at the same time. So you're not actually able to do a lot of damage output with the farmers. They're just enemy fodder. They're just getting killed. That's what they're there for, is to just die. The archers is where all of your damage comes from, and they just sit back and do nothing but shoot arrows at guys. So that's why it's so important to have them maxed out, and your farmers need to be maxed out just because they need to be doing damage themselves. Not only that, farmers are easy to max out. I mean, I think the last level ends up costing like 30,000 silver, but you can always play old levels after you've beaten level 50. And so maxing out your farmers is very easy. Not a difficult task. Maxing out your archers, a little bit more difficult because it does cost some gold coins to do. It's also always a good idea to keep your samurai away from harm, because even if your samurai's got a pretty high level, when you're fighting these enemies, they kill you in just a few hits no matter what. So yeah, keep your samurai leveled up decently, but really, you don't really want to be in there fighting melee. You need to be fighting ranged because you just take damage too quickly. So here we go, the first bonus round of, I think, 4 that I play. And I lucked out here. I have, in this particular one, I have archers and the riflemen. Oh, and divinity, apparently. Nice. The enemies in the bonus rounds, too, they don't match exactly the level of the enemies that you're fighting currently. So even though I'm level 55, these enemies are more reminiscent of, like, level 45. They're a ways back. Because normally, at level 55, these enemies should be tearing up those archers in, like, 2 hits. Nothing too difficult there. And all that effort for 1 sushi. It's a lame prize. So going into 56. Upgraded my village bowman. Again, unnecessary upgrade. I mean, it's a nice to have. I recommend you do it at some point in time, but it doesn't necessarily need to be done for this particular wave. Alright, here we go. 56. So these wheel guys are pretty easy to hold off. They attack you the first time, and then the second time you stop them, they just delay, but they don't actually attack. And then the third time, and then it's the odd numbered times. So you'll stop them once, they won't spin, and you'll stop them again, they will spin. So they're really easy to slow down. What really sucks is when you get a Frosty the Bowman behind one of them, because it makes it harder for you to dodge their attack when you have frozen archers behind them. I delayed that group about as much as I could. Unfortunately, I didn't get very many archers out before I ran out of leadership, just because this particular set of enemies, they got to jump on me. A lot of gold boxes on this wave. So here what you see me doing here is the enemies are actually not dying fast enough for me, so I've actually moved behind them a little bit, trying to lay out if I can actually kill their healers. That becomes a strategy that you use a lot more later in the game, but for right now you don't need to do it a whole lot. You should be able to just swarm them with your archer and your farmers and be done with it there. Later on though, you will need to go back there and clean up the healers and even the war drum guys that are buffing the enemy. That's the end of 56. Charms. Nothing but charms in the gold presents. So again, I'm continuing to use those wealth charms just out of convenience. I mean, really, you could go pick up those leadership coins, and you probably could just keep your spawns up, even without picking up a bunch of those leadership coins. But it just makes it a little bit easier. It's just that much easier. And if you've played enough of the pachinko game, or even just gathered your dailies for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, you should have a decent amount of those wealth charms as it is. So you should be able to use one on most levels. The trick is when you use one and then not win, because then you kind of wasted it. That's like the freaking Terminator. I bet you anything, one troop will wipe him out. Alright, here's troop. Let's see. Let's see if I can use troop on him. Done. Take that, you punk. Love it. All the healers are healing each other. But with almost full leadership, that doesn't really matter because I'm going to have a swarm of death for them. That's going to be brewing. And here they come. So clearly I can't kill them on my own, but my farmers will make quick work of them. So kind of a close call there, because had they chewed through my farmers well enough, they would have got to my archers there. And it got a little bit close there. But I've got ample archers there, and so they're kind of killing everybody fast enough. Oop, they got to my archers. Close call. I think I only lost one or two. So kind of a rough wave. A lot of farmers. You're gonna need a lot of farmers to kill their farmers, but you're gonna need a lot of archers too. Keep that damage coming. So another wave in the books. Easy enough. At least it looked easy enough. Yeah, I don't think I struggled on any of the waves until 60. And then after 60, there was a couple times that it was a little bit difficult up to 70. And then 70 is a little bit of a trick wave. So no new upgrades again this time. Keep on going. I don't think I upgrade, like I mentioned previously, I don't think I upgrade until wave 60. At least not anything that actually really matters, really is imperative to winning these rounds. So 58. I'll chime in if anything actually needs to be chimed in on. So these bombs, you may have watched the 1 through 50, you may not have. If you let a bomb slip by you, that's totally fine. Your farmers can clean them up. Your farmers are actually really good at attacking quickly. So if you string about, I don't know, 5 or 6 farmers together, you can almost bet that you would get them with those farmers. Farmers are really good at cleaning up bombs, better than your samurai. Other classes, probably not so much, but farmers are really good at cleaning up bombs. That's a really effective way to get them. Just let them walk past you, summon a few farmers, and just forget about it. They probably won't kill your gate. pretty straightforward wave. Not a lot of trickiness. You'll see that in most waves. Most waves don't actually require any special deviation from the primary plan. Send out the farmers in front with a steady stream and keep the archers in the back. Pretty easy. You can see, though, that Glue Mobile, what they were trying to do in the game, based on their different types of troops and stuff, they were trying to make it so that you would have panzers in the front, and then you would use archers as kind of the back units, and then maybe use some horsemen in there in the middle for more of an attacking unit, and it just didn't end up that way. I mean, they went through all the work to make this intricate kind of RTS almost system, and I don't know, the assholes like me come in and go, nah, there's an easier way to do this. And they just come up with a really simplistic method, like zerging. Zerging farmers and zerging archers. Makes it easy enough. So again, a couple new upgrades, but nothing that was really super important. At least nothing to note. We're just going to keep moving on. So wave 59, the wave before the first boss. Having a bit of trouble here holding these guys back, slowing them down. The problem is I can't get in there and melee them because of those bowmen back there. There you go, I'll take care of one of those guys. That was actually a bad idea though, because when I shatter one of them, it's going to break them into little guys, and I'm going to have to call in the farmers now. Oh well. Looks like I'm going to get swarmed here, and I'm going to actually lose all my guys. And at this point in time, it looks like this will probably be a good time to do a strategy review. So when I do this, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it here or not. At some point in time, you might actually watch me just stop summoning farmers. I'll just stop altogether. And the idea behind that is that the current incoming farmers will... See, I'm losing so much ground here because they're just chewing on my guys. I would be better off to just stop summoning, let my incoming farmers kind of take them out a little bit, and then build up my leadership, and then just have a huge swarm of guys with archers and everything come in all at once. A lot of times you can start a new strategy kind of head there, and it'll take out the enemies again. But luckily for me, the troop was able to clean that one up, so I didn't actually need to reboot the strategy. There is one wave where I go to reboot the strategy, and right at the very end, like my last farmer or two beats the wave. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to work. I need to reboot the strategy, and I start to pull back, and I start to build up my leadership, and then all of a sudden the wave ends. It's pretty funny. So you're going to see here, I'm actually going to buy something. Troop. Here we go. Oh, this is the end of... Not yet. Upgraded the gate. Didn't need to happen, but it did anyways. So here, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade troop here, I think. And this is after I've died the first time on wave 60, or the second time, one of the two. So I upgraded troop, cost me 30 gold coins. You can see there that the damage goes even higher if you want to upgrade it with another 40. 40 gold coins equates to about $2, so I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to go buy coins. I actually never did buy coins myself. I was able to grind them all up, mostly using the date trick. So I cheated. But I explained it away myself by saying, it's all for the walkthrough. That's what it's for. In all honesty, this game was not nearly as fun going through it the second time as it was the first time. The first time, it was actually a pretty fun game. The second time, it really felt like a job. So here we go. Wave 60. And the boss here, if you didn't already see him, is a large warrior. So with the troop upgrade, one of the key reason I should say why I needed the troop upgrade is when you send troop out at higher levels, it does more damage before it stops, and it's almost like 50% or 75% more damage for every level that it gains. So having a higher leveled troop it's much more effective. So that was well placed. You can see I knew right when my farmers were going to hit their farmers, and then I hit them with lethargy right as my farmers were meeting them. Allowed them to die. For some reason, I summoned a healer in there. I'm just playing with him. So having that additional troop, let's see how hard it hits him. Nice chunk of damage. Nice little chunk of damage there. So that helps. The troop actually does a lot of help, a lot of good. It's always good to keep an eye on the enemy's health too, because if it's going up, that means there's healers back there, and you need to go back there and kill them. Having healers, there's healers behind him right now. So I wonder if I actually go back there and take care of him or not. I wonder how I deal with that. Normally in the situation, that's what you need to do. You need to go back there and you need to use your samurai to kill the healers. So you can see here, that's what we'll do. And I noticed there's another thing you're gonna notice here. It looks like I used a power charm here as well. I'd recommend doing that. If you have a power charm, use the power charm. If you don't have a power charm, get a power charm. It cuts their damage. No, sorry, it's not a power charm. It's a peace charm. Go get a peace charm. Peace charms have the added bonus of cutting all their damage in half, which allows your farmers to stay alive a little bit longer, your rangers to stay a little bit longer, you to stay alive a little bit longer. You can see here I keep getting my butt kicked. Or to use one sushi. You should have ample sushi at this point in time though. Most waves don't require that you use them, and so you should just be accumulating them. I know I did. I just kept accumulating them. So I'm still the same things going on here. It's taking me forever to beat this wave because there's healers back there. So you have to stop the healers in order to beat this guy. You have to get your samurai back there and take care of him. So now I'm in an interesting predicament here where I have no more rangers, I just have farmers. There's nothing I can really do here, because he's going to continue to kill my farmers in one hit. So at this point, I have to get back there, and I have to take care of those healers. And the healers do have an interesting glitch, and I was about to mention this earlier, but here goes. If you hold back the healers by hitting them a few times, a lot of times they will stick into the ground. They won't proceed forward. Not sure what's going on there. It might be some kind of weird cabin bug or something, which is interesting to think because it's a 2D plane. But nonetheless, they stop. If the whole mob of enemies moves forward a little bit and you're holding back the healers by hitting them with your melee weapon, they will stay. Usually they'll stay. I've seen them do it multiple times. You'll see that actually happen here. Okay, so despite the fact that I'm not actually beating the boss, I am whittling away some of the enemies when they show up in front of the boss. So that is doing something. That is helping. I'm just delaying this. I'm delaying the inevitable horribly by not going back and trying to kill those healers. The problem is that they were smart to design a level like this, because if you were to go back there and try to start to fight the healers by yourself right off the bat, there's enemies that come up behind them. So you kind of have to deal with them by, either getting behind them for a little while and letting them proceed forward and then coming back to the healers, or kill them yourself. One of the two. So it's pretty soon here is when I just decided to just give up and I got to go after those healers. I realized there's no other way to do it. Here we go. Alright, so again, you gotta make sure there's no enemies in there to hit you. You just go back there and just start meleeing them. And eventually, it'll distract them because they will be healing each other and themselves. See, that's a good strategy right there. An enemy walked up and I just walked behind him briefly and then I went right back to the healers. So by you distracting them, and hitting them so they have to heal themselves, it allows your allies to deal with the boss. You can see here, I'm actually winning this too. I'm actually doing damage to them. So they're beginning to separate here, and you can see, you'll watch here, the boss ends up moving forward a little bit, and then the healers just stay here. They don't ever actually go anywhere. So, having an upgraded sword in this particular case actually would be a nice thing, because you'll be able to damage them better. But I completed the game without upgrading my sword beyond the silver coin limit. I never actually used gold coins on my sword. Nice thing too is the boss is sitting there right by that bell. Right by the town bell and right by the town archers. So they're all doing damage to him. And now these guys are completely neutralized. They are not healing him at all. So every troop I send is doing a little bit more damage. Every farmer I send is doing a little bit more damage. And I think at some point I actually walk away from these guys and they just stay here. There they are. They're just staying there. So you can see they kind of glitch a little bit. They don't do that every time, but it's good enough that they did it this time. It's not necessary that they did that. I just got impatient and wanted to go see what was going on up here. You can see there the boss, his health is slowly dwindling. Every couple farmers comes up and hits him once or twice. So you can see there's a lot of room for improvement in this particular approach for this level. It would have been much better for me to realize exactly how to do this right away and then just go kill those healers. So I would suggest you do that. It won't take you 10 minutes to beat this wave. You just go up there and kill those healers. And whenever somebody approaches you, just run behind them, wait for them to pass, and then go back and start working on the healers again. An alternative strategy there would also be to use your lightning with the troop instead of the lethargy. I'm not sure if that's actually a super good idea or not. I'm not sure how well it'll work to not have that slowdown effect, but it might be very beneficial to have you back there use your lightning on the healers. So, alternative strategy. I know at least this works. It just took a while. And then you run into a problem like this where you have an aerial guy and all you have is one bow. There we go. Troop on the way. So wave 60 done. There's one more bonus level, and then we'll wrap up this particular video. And there will be one on wave 61 through 70 as well. Very similar strategies there, but I'll go ahead and comment through that one as well, just to bring everybody that skipped this video up to speed on that video. I'm gonna go ahead and depart now, and you guys can just watch the bonus video on the bonus level on your own. So until next time, this has been Chris with Pixel Freak.
you